Jesus, Cleopas, Jesus Justice, Colossians 4:11, is the Capricorn of the 12th sign, 12th month of the zodiac, and astrology is Amams, Leviathans, religion along with tarot cards, and Ouija boards and psychics. This is their way of getting in contact with those familiar, disagreeable, spirits. The zodiac, an ancient Babylonian word for animals, has many forms such as the dog, monkey, eagle, serpent, crocodile, etc. that are not shown in almanacs, dictionaries, and encyclopedias. Although this stems from ancient Tama-Re Egypt, as everything does, it was distorted and altered from its original meaning. For instance, Zodiacos is the Egyptian Netert female deity Hathor, and the temple of Dendera was attributed to her, and is where the original Immaculate Conception took place with Aset Isis to conceive Haru Horus. We, black people, invented the guitar and the violin. The Tamahu invented instruments like flutes and high-pitched guitars. The high-pitched loud music that you hear has an effect on your sympathetic nerves and destroys your brain tissues. A witch doctor is a European's way of deceiving you into thinking that your village healer, or botanist, who had the cures was some kind of demon, devil worshipper, or bad person. Meanwhile, the true demon, devil worshipping, bad person can slowly but surely poison you to death with their medicines. Ha-Ruti the Sphinx is one of those pieces of evidence of how great you as Nubians, blacks, are. It has been standing for 12,500 years, withstanding the forces of erosion and the cannonball attacks of invaders, all the while only losing her wings. Yes, her wings, a woman. Ha-Ruti had the face of an Uruk female ruler. Many are under the false impression that the face is that of the pharaoh Khufu, because he was given the credit for its completion along with the completion of the Great Pyramid of Giza. May, originally Muse, is named after the goddess of spring, May. Around the 1st of May, large bonfires were set, often animal and human sacrifices were tossed into the fires to appease the sun. A May king and queen were chosen to symbolize incarnations of the vegetation spirits. Consequently, the dance of the maypole evolved. These activities were believed to give fertility to soil and flocks. Traveling widens the scope, but make sure you take care of your responsibilities at home first. Let yourself be the path to another's happiness. The word chess is derived from the Persian word shah, which translates to English as king. The game symbolizes the government and how it manipulates the lives of the populace. It is one of the oldest games which pure mental skill must be used and rules out chance, a tool of the devil. It is like warfare and consists of an organized attack and defense, each conducted with a definite objective in view. The main objective is Shah Maut, meaning the king is dead. Here are the symbolic meanings of the pieces. Queen side. Rook, Soviet Russia, Magog, Revelations 20:8. One horn of the beast, Revelation 17. Knight, international militaries, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Bishop, political parties, Republicans, which the U.S. is based on, Democrats, so-called liberals, socialists, communists, etc. Queen, of England, she rules Babylon and all the heads of governments must bow to her. King side. Rook, United States, Gog, Revelations 20:8, other horn of the beast, Revelation 17. Knight, national police, national guard, city police, and so-called civilian police. Bishop, paganish religions, Methodists, Baptists, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, etc. King, represents the president who is the Dajjal, Antichrist. Although he holds an important position, he must sit by the queen protecting and answering to her only. Pawns on both sides are the laymen that are influenced every day by the other pieces. Revelation 9:7-9. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. The above verses speak of the World War II fighter planes called the American Flying Tigers. John never experienced things such as airplanes, so he could only describe them by objects, which he could relate to. He called the planes locusts flying in formation. The gold he saw was the sun's reflection off the plane. The faces of people is a frontal view of the plane with its windows, radar scanner, and propellers. The propellers in motion appeared to be the hair of a woman. The teeth of a lion are the emblem of the tiger fighter planes. Leviticus 19:28. You will not make any serit cuttings in your basar skin and flesh for the dead, nefesh spirit, nor print any kahaka marks on yourselves. I am a Yahuwah. Proof that tattoos are a health hazard, hepatitis exposure, is in the Red Cross rule that says, you have to wait 1 year from the date you received your tattoo or piercing before you are eligible to donate blood. Despite what is taught in schools and universities, James Madison did not write the Constitution of the United States. Thomas Paine plagiarized it from the Iroquois oral constitution, the Kyancha-Koa, which translates Great Law of Peace. Their gynecocratic, governed by women, system was also very highly developed politically. The beginning of the Constitution, "We the People," is the exact meaning of the original name of the Cherokee tribe of Native American, which is Ani-Yunwia. It is said that Alin is the seventh heaven, and people just accept this interpretation without any confirmation. All of these men could just be making this up. There is no proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is any such thing as the seventh heaven or seven heavens, which is coming from the seven spheres actually, which are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, heterosphere, homosphere. Present-day authorities, theologians, philosophers, and so-called linguistics of European birth use several of their own languages to control your mind and entrap you in their definitions. Remember that their first holy book is the Bible or the Quran, and their second and most holy book is their dictionary. With these tools, they rule. They can decide what is true and what is false, and they can make a learnt man look like a fool or a liar, because they are unquestionable. The format used is author, authentic, authority. With those three principles, everybody retreats to them to check themselves and their own culture. Whenever you look up the root of a word, and where it originated, you are always led to Greek, French, Old English, Latin, and Arabic. Most of your definitions are coming from these languages. They have you controlled by these languages to keep your mind trapped and make themselves the authorities, the authors, and thus appear to be authentic. Walla, a handmaid of Nama, also the wife of Noah, gave birth to Rhea, a very playful son. Walla did not have faith in the Most High, and always questioned Noah. Whenever Noah would tell Rhea to play with the rest of his brothers, Walla would always keep him to her side. So, Rhea became closer to his mother than to his father Noah. Because of her lack of faith, it caused Walla and her son Rhea to perish in the flood, Genesis 6:17. The false chronicler, known as Spike Lee, is an imp. His movies tend to show the negative side of Nubians. She's gotta have it. A Nubian girl plays a tramp. Most are not. It is a stereotype. Also, the men either lacked male stamina or were punks. School Days portrays dark-skinned and light-skinned Nubians as enemies. Moreover, it fails to clarify that we are all one people. Do the right thing. In the scene when he's walking down the street, it is noticeable how deformed and inhuman he really looks. Jungle Fever, this movie speaks for itself. The laws of the Most High and nature are right racism. Malcolm X, when future generations look back at this film, they will only see the negativity of what once was. It has many negative connotations. Cheap shots were taken at Dr. Martin Luther King, the Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites, and many others. Get on the bus. A small-time entrepreneur boards the bus with the view that black people simply need to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, like our only helping hand is at the end of your arm. In other words, he does not subscribe to the victimologist thinking. He bodily hurls that man off the bus. Lee makes sure this character is a repulsive, plain, squat actor, contrasting with the good-looking ones playing the principal roles. Unlike most black conservatives, the character, lacks compassion for the minority of Nubians who are truly suffering. The name Spike is an ancient name of the malevolent ones. If Muslims spent as much time teaching about the qualities of Muhammad and his life as they do trying to destroy the qualities of Jesus and his life, maybe Islam would not attract the lower-class poor people. It has many criminals that are prisoners and basic riffraff. 90% of the Muslim world is illiterate. Islam appeals to the uneducated or those who just want religion without investigating the facts. Maybe this is because Muslims boast of how Muhammad was unlearned and uneducated, as found in Quran 7-158. Muhammadan idol worshippers are sacrificing poor, sincere souls to your God who asked for blood of animals, but now he wants human blood. Each year many Muslims die on pilgrimage. This is the only explanation and reason all this death is occurring every other year. 35 Muslim pilgrims were killed in a stampede at the annual Hajj pilgrimage, March 5, 2001, in Saudi Arabia. 23 women and 12 men of various nationalities were crushed to death in the stampede during the devil stoning ritual at Jamarat, near the Muslim holy city of Mecca. The Apostle John, son of Zebedee, envisioned a host of 10,000 soldiers from China assembled at the Euphrates River. This segment of the Apostle John's vision tells of the outbreak of a greater war, destined to occur because of internal conflict within the East. This war will be the final war. The Euphrates River will dry and the hosts, the Chinese army of 200 million men, will emerge and invade the Middle East. According to prophecy, China will be responsible for wiping out a third of the Earth's population. Revelations 9:15. Adam and Eve heard the voice of which they knew to be God, or the Lord. In order to speak you must have a larynx, and its functions are to produce sounds and keep food from entering the trachea. Does this mean that God eats, which means he needs food, and thus making him in need of a digestive system? The name Anu or Anu is the cuneiform, also the Akkadian and Babylonian name for the Heavenly Father who to the ancient Egyptians was a physical being with wives and children, and whose other name was An or En. The Arabs call him El-Ali, the 36th attribute, meaning the Most High. However, when you put these two words together, Ali plus En, you get alien. The Halat, life force of the body, may be looked upon as the atmosphere of the body because it reflects the real vital body, mental mood, health and character. These different layers or moods are reflected in colors, which may appear cloud-like, or bright and clear according to the mood it is reflecting. Only those who are highly spiritual are able to see the Halat. The three basic colors of the Halat are: red, projects or encourages desire and evil. It depicts anger and bloodshed. Blue, reflects a highly spiritual mood and the virtuous qualities of man such as devotion, faith and piety. Yellow, reflects intellect or a total state of consciousness. It shows the intellect of a person. It also encourages reason, judgment, analysis, or the use of logical mental activity. From these three colors, the second colors are formed. Green, dealing with light, is a most divine mood. It is a combination of the moods that blue and yellow reflect, which is reflected from the heavens of the mental plane. Green, like white, is a healing force, except the green light is much more powerful and a more purified force. Black, it is not a color, but a supreme state of mind. It is supreme balance and is the total absence of moods and colors. It is the absence of all balance. White, is a state of purity of mind and soul. White does not project a mood, but a force, one of the healing forces. The white light or force is projected from angelic beings, which are placed as guardians over men. Gray, is a negative color, projecting a totally negative mood. It is a force combination of black and white. Because they are two complete individual states, neither lacking, they remain in constant battle. People with gray auras are compelled toward depression, pessimism and malice. Brown, another negative color, whether it is a light shade or a deep murky brown. It projects a mood of greed and desire for material gain. This is because it is a combination of green and red. Brown people, are as old as the sun, moon, and stars. Although there are many dark brown nations of people that are in existence, all dark brown people are not of the Tide heritage. What you must remember is that beings from other planets either visited or resided here on the planet Earth. For example, the Nephilian, Nodite, race, whose language was Sanskrit, were 7 to 9 feet tall, dark brown, malevolent or disagreeable beings who were cast out from Orion to the planet Earth. They resided in a place called Nod near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Hindus, who were dark-skinned people with goat-like straight hair, also resided in the land of Nod. You see, by the time Zakar, rememberer, who was an atom of the reddish-brown ground, and Nekaba, tribal leader, who was Hawa, the mother of all living, were bred, many beings had come from different galaxies and constellations to Tiamat. These beings were agreeable and disagreeable. Hadrat Keturah, she was named Keturah because when she was born there was, in the room, as her name translates, a sweet scent. Her father, Nimrod, was a great ruler. He taught people to worship him instead of the Most High. Nimrod had an edifice built in his honor to prove, beyond a doubt, that none was higher or mightier than he. Keturah was against her father's doings. She was a prime example of how American women of today go against what they've been taught, and what their families believe to enter the fold of New Wabu, sound right reasoning. She was also the mother of basket weaving. Hadrat, a title of respect, signifying nobility. What is success? Success is a progressive realization of a worthy idea. If a person is working towards a predetermined goal, and knows where he is going, that person is a success. If not, he is a failure. I want you to think upon the problem. We're taught to think and believe that the opposite of courage, in any society in the world, is cowardliness, and this is not true. The opposite of courage is conformity. There you have the trouble today, it's conformity. People acting like everyone else, without even knowing why or where they are going. Question means to doubt, to be uncertain of, to have no confidence in, to treat as doubtful, to challenge, to call in question. This is when Adam and Eve began to doubt and therefore disobeyed the direct commandment given to them by the Elohim Anunnaki Kalkul, as stated in Genesis 3:6, and I quote, "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat." They questioned God, by doubting him, which is how Nakash, the devil, Iblis, Satan, Shaitan, Samael, Halel, Canas, Ha-Satan, was able to persuade them, which brought about their act of disobedience. This led to the fear of questioning God. Nevertheless, we smile upon questioning because so many facts have been degraded to beliefs. Martin Luther King, Jr., born January 15, 1929, martyred April 4, 1968. We will always celebrate the birth of this God, and child of the Most High, who was sharing and caring on an enormous level. Why Earth E.T.? The humanoid-type extraterrestrials are making shuttles to transport themselves from one place to the next. The ones that are humans have to travel in your time and space. They have to do things according to how time on Earth is governed. They have created what is called a star gateway where they can step through and interdimensionally transport themselves. They are an advanced society by far, and have surpassed people on the surface of the Earth in technology. They use power called blast electricity, whose source is from the compression of air and its connection with electricity. This ties in with the shifting of weights, which was the secret to the building of the pyramids. They also get their power from the energy grid that surrounds the planet Earth. A grid is a network of uniformly spaced horizontal and perpendicular lines, specifically used for locating points, by means of a system of coordinates. This is one of the main reasons why extraterrestrials want your planet. The magnetic field is one of the most valuable assets on your planet, because it has an endless amount of free energy. The divine spark of Mother 90 is ready to shine forth from the Nubian woman, that they may take their rightful place as the true mothers of all civilization. No longer do we say that behind every good man there is a good woman. Instead, we say that beside every good man is a good woman, and they stand as one. Stop looking at people, look into them. There you will find true beauty. New EWB or blackness is supreme balance before the chaos was introduced. It was a state of sound, right reasoning. That darkness was triple darkness, which is what you would call the absence of consciousness, or the state of being awoke. In actuality, the dream state is more real and peaceful than the chaos you meet once you are awake. A form of spiritual darkness responsible for the spark that turned on the light that is the life and intellect of all who breathe and think. When the light is turned on again, the chaos begins. The differentiation begins. The separation begins. The rights and the wrongs, the goodness and the badness, the supreme balance is broken and the ego begins to verse the I. Why are we called a cult? Rosicrucians in California have an Egyptian environment complete with columns, deities, statues, hieroglyphs and other structures. This existed long before our teacher came on the scene. Are they called a cult? No. Our teacher has been a registered Rosicrucian member for more than 25 years, with studies and lessons to prove it. The following were all Rosicrucians: Benjamin Franklin, Henry Butler, Sir Isaac Newton, Elias Ashmole. So, what is the problem? It is obviously an attack of his character. The Essenes is the order that is responsible for the Dead Sea Scrolls found at Qumran. They helped to dispel the lies that have been fabricated in the Bible up until this day. They helped the Messiah Yeshua, Jesus, they were there with the body of Judas. They grew in power and this angered the Herod, which led to the attack on Masada, an Essene community, and lead up to their suicide. They would not live under rule of the Judahites. They put their tablets on scrolls, placed them in copper jars and buried them, only to be discovered in 1947 AD, in the Persian Gulf area. Now, scientists are using the translation to disprove the Bible, and they are continuing excavations. What's a Nubian? The word Nubian, Ta'ite, Ethiopian, Cushite, means black, and now we are saying that we are Nubians. Nubian Americans are called Nubians not only because of your brown skin, but because you are from the eastern coast part of Ham, another name for Africa, which is called Saude, the outer field, where the name Sudan comes from, Exodus 1:14. The land called Nubia was named after Nuba, who was the son of Cush and his second wife Nubala. You should not go anywhere you cannot take your children.